I am Khadija Yasmin. I am a Hong Kong government full funded PhD student, and I am going to discuss with you how do you get a PhD, master's and undergraduate scholarship, when and how do you write a proper email to your supervisor, and which factors you should consider before going to get any fund. And stay tuned with me until the end of the video. And here I discuss three types of scholarships. Basically, government scholarship is mostly prestigious, and it provides for masters and PhD students. And second, for university scholarship, it provides for undergraduate, masters and PhD students. Anyone can apply for this. And for professor funded scholarships is comes from the government research fund, and it provides mainly for PhD and masters, and no fund for undergraduate students for professor fund, because it is research based scholarships. And for undergraduate students, it is very difficult to get 100% fund from any kind of universities, any countries, and basically they provides 100%, not 80%, 60%, 40%. But if you are good enough with excellent academic and IELTS results, you can get 100% scholarships. Here Hong Kong can provide 100%. And for masters, Erasmus Mundus scholarship is most common, and research based masters is for 2 years or sometimes 3 years. It have a dissertation research, and for third masters there is no scholarships, and it is only 1 year. And for PhD students, full funded scholarships is available throughout the world, and I already told three types of PhD scholarships, and PhD government scholarships is very much exclusive, very much prestigious, and highly demanding scholarships. So, for EDD students, Doctor of Philosophy, Doctor of Education, they have no direct fund. And when you apply for scholarship, because different countries circulate the scholarships, the different timelines, and of course you should start 1 year ago, because it takes time for applying it, going to so many process, and the September semester is very much common throughout the world, and your country choice depends on your desire, your future plan, and your choice, your love, your passions, and how much fund you get. It depends on your quality, your academic, non-academic qualifications. And here I am going to show my own timeline on PhD journey. I started from September 1st, 2021, and then I wrote 250 emails to many professors, to many universities, many countries, and I got so many positive response from them. And then I started to jump for government scholarship, as I want a government scholarship, and I am quite eligible, I believe. And then I sit for interview, and finally I selected, and I got 3 or 4 scholarships, and among them I just picked the best one for me. It depends on so many factors. At later I will show you. And it's very easy. What do you think? Very easy to get a scholarships? No, not at all. It takes time. It's very difficult. It takes consistent work, consistent passion, dedication. So you need to work for it. And here I am going to show the timeline for different universities, different countries for the good scholarships, government. And here USA, Canada, Australia government provides scholarship from October to January, and EFIL government for France, EFIL scholarships, it comes in January, and Swiss government scholarships comes in August, and Korean government scholarships comes in April to June, and next for Japan government scholarships comes in March to May, and Hong Kong government scholarships comes in October and September. I am here for Hong Kong government scholarships, and of course search, and always update from Google, always update from Facebook groups, and always stay tuned and search different universities, different country, your desire. And of course consistent work, mindset work is very much important for getting a PhD masters or for getting a fund for undergraduate. It's factors for choosing a right scholarships. It depends on so many factors. So, there are basically 3 types of factors: your desire, your dream, and your future plan. And for desire, I think you ask yourself what do you want, how you want to achieve, and how makes you happy. You just ask and ask. Then you think, and then you find a good solution, and then you can just jump to your work, for getting a fund. And there are so many factors. Someone love USA, someone love UK, someone want to settle down in other countries, someone loves good fund, and someone love Australia, America, Canada, someone love Asia, any other countries, someone want to be a teacher, someone want to be happiness, someone want to stay with child and family, someone of course there are so many factors, and you focus your mind and you ask yourselves what you want. And for me, my major focus was of Japan and Hong Kong. Why Hong Kong? Because there provides me good amount of salary. Here Hong Kong government provides me more than 3,540 US dollar every month, and besides this they also provide the different research fund and travel fund. And I also brought my child here, and I am living with my child. So, I think it's a great opportunity for me, and to also I love teaching, I love research, as I am working in my country as an assistant professor. So, my major focus, I go back to my country, and also if I get any chance here or any other countries, then I think. But my initial plan to go back. Here I am showing how do you find the better university, better professor, and it depends your subject choice. At first, which subjects you want, you ask yourselves. So for undergraduate students, you can choose any subjects, and for masters, it depends on your undergraduate subjects timeline, and for PhD students, it depends on your previous working experience for your dissertation in masters, your working experience, if you have any research topics, if you already conducted so many research, if you have some publications, you should consider before going to choose any country, any professors. And here, after your subject choice, and then you choose the 4 countries among them throughout the world, and it's better because it's easy for you to handle. And for me, of course, the settlement, country facilities, country living standards is important. You should consider about this, and then you should consider about the different university ranking. And for undergraduate students, I have no comments. If they are so good, they of course they can do it, and some are getting so many high university like Harvard, Oxford, Cambridge. And but sometimes if you are not good enough, I think you should skip this point, ranking university. You can search the Google, you can go to Google and find the best university ranking in world. Then you should narrow down your topic, and you select only 5 to 10 universities among the all countries. Like you choose 4 countries, and if you select at least 5 universities from a country, then you have only 20 universities. Then you should work at 20 universities. Then you send your email, then you knock to your professor, then you match to your desired research topics, desired research subjects with them, and then it is very easy for you for getting a fund, for getting a scholarships. And finally, of course, write a common email for all of them. because it's very important steps. If you use BCC, you can send 250 even 500 email at a time. It's very important, just write a proper email at a time, then you use BCC, then you send by email. It's very easy for getting a good comments within a shortest possible time. And of course, this is for PhD students, focus on associate professor and professor grade, and for masters is better if you choose the lecturer assistant professor, because sometimes for PhD student assistant professor sometimes they are not eligible for supervised PhD student. So, just focus the right professor. And you must do some things like you should be polite and respectful to your professor, to the university. You show your dedication, enthusiasm. You of course be honest. Honesty is the best policy. Everyone likes honest people. And work at write email at working day, like from Monday to Friday, not at public holidays, at Saturday, Sunday, not in the Christmas vacation, not in the summer vacation, not in the winter vacation. Of course, keep in mind, of course, the working day is important, and at morning hour before 9 a.m. I think is better for a professor to get a higher chance to read your email, and never show up your expertise. If you are not so much experienced, just mention I do not get so much scope for getting a good research. But I hope I want to do this, and I have dedications. I am very honest to my work. If I get a recommendation, if I get a chance to work with you, I hope I can easily adopt my experience. And here I wrote an email to a professor, and I wrote that it is my honor that I am writing to you from Bangladesh. I am assistant professor of soil science at Sylhet Agricultural University. Your work is very similar to me and my interest. I need a fund for my PhD. Would you please recommend me for the next scholarships? I am very honest and sincere to my work. Here you just focused that I am from my country. Where you are from, you should write, and your working experience. Here I wrote I am working as an assistant professor. Also my research area is soil science, and I also mentioned your research is very similar to my work and my interest. That means I already read some articles from this supervisors or professor. And here I wrote I need a fund for my PhD, and I need a recommendation letter for next scholarship. Also mentioned I need a government scholarships, and also mentioned I am very honest and sincere to my work. So you should focus these few topics, and you should focus, but it's very important, not the lengthy email. Of course, you should write 2 or 3 sentences, or better for 2 or 3 lines, because professors has no more time to read the long emails. And you should add subjects, of course, add subjects to the email, like the subjects is better if you write I want a recommendation for PhD, or I want a fund for PhD, such like subject. I think very catchy. And of course, you should attach your CV, your experience, your academic background, your research topic. If you have any articles, you can attach of them. And also you have some IELTS experience. Of course, you need IELTS, then you can mention my IELTS score is 7, 8 or 6.5, you just mention. And this email I wrote, and I also get a response from a professor from Switzerland, he asked me, he has sandwich PhD program and fund. If I interested in sandwich program, I can get these scholarships, but I replied him, I want a full funded government PhD. So I do not want any sandwich fund, and I also interested to work with him, as his research is soil plant microbiology symbiosis is similar to my master's thesis and experience. So I just mentioned to him and I attached my some CV to him, and I got a reply from another professor. Here he wrote, I should mention some few questions to him. Your research, master's research, what laboratory skills do you already have mastered, what topics would you like to pursue in the doctoral program, and what laboratory skills do you expect to learn here. And he also mentioned, don't avoid writing anything, because you should have a research topic, and it's better if you already write a research topic for masters and PhD student. For PhD, it's I think very important for getting a good professor, good fund. You should write your research proposal early before contact to him. And choose the right professor. If you are from crop science, you focus on crop science professor, not in the animal science. And if you are the marine engineer, you should contact the like marine engineers or some like engineers department, not in the psychology department. You should choose the right professor, right university, also right research area. And here I wrote a wrong email to some of the professors, and I wrote someone who is in mathematics department, and but my research in soil science, as I am working in crop science. So it is so far different from him. So he mentioned me, I am not the similar topic, similar research interest. So he also suggested me another one for getting a right professor for me. And here another professor from UC Davis, USA. He wrote me for admission in USA. I need to go through the normal admission process, because most of the USA university has research based mean professor or project based scholarships, and government scholarships is very rare here. So so you should consider this before writing email. And after 3 working days, I told you, maybe you sent email in Monday, then after Thursday or Friday you have a reminder again, and reminder sentence should be polite, humble, like this: did you please receive the email, or would you please have time to read my email, such like sentence. But here I did a mistake. Did you check my email? It's very it's not a right language. So I think you should focus the good sentence and write, would you please have time to read my email. And if you are not qualified enough, maybe some professors write you such like sentence. One professor wrote me, I do not think that your research experience makes you a strong fit for the lab, so I can't recommend you to working with us. So he thought I need more experience. He actually he likes more experience. So it would be, because but never give up, never give up. You should have belief to yourselves, and you should work, because you just many of the professors are very considerate. You can if you can convey them, I am such like sentence, I am very sincere, honest, and if I get a chance to work with you, and I believe I can develop myself very soon, and then some professor can manage scholarships or fund for you. I think it's very important. You should be humble. You have a request to them for getting fund, and you should focus to them that you are honest to your work, and you have dedication to do a good research with him. They can consider you. And never give up, trust yourselves, believe yourselves, work hard and fight for a good fund. And the next video topic is coming for basic requirements for getting a fund. Here I discuss the different fund, academic and non-academic qualifications, and stay tuned with me, subscribe, like, comments and share. Don't forget to subscribe. And another announce, of course, always you ask me any questions and you send me so many comments. If you have any problem, you want a solution, you can ask me, and I try to comment you at a time, to answer you at a time, but I am not sure I can give you comments and answer 1:1, because it's very difficult for me, as I am a PhD student, and for managing time is so difficult. I have laboratory work, so many works, research writing, research. So I hope you can understand. You are also considerate like a professor, good professor. Okay, stay tuned with me. See you next.